And it was not until I met the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and submitted to the divine wisdom of Almighty God Allah that He poured out and began to act upon the principles of what He was teaching me, that I began to grow into wisdom and knowledge, into spiritual power, and into ability, which means to do. But I have no work of my own. I'm helping in His work. I have no ministry to speak of. He is the supreme and only minister of God in the wilderness of North America. So I am a student of His ministry. And by His permission and the permission of the God who raised Him up, I am able to open the eyes of those who are blind and make the deaf hear and the lame walk and raise my spiritually and mentally dead brothers to life. But I can of myself do nothing. And so, as long as I understand that I am no more than an instrument, no more than a vessel, no more than a tool in the divine hand of the divine messenger of God, that He may use me as He sees fit, then your words of honor and praise to me are not proper. They should go beyond the tool and beyond the instrument to the one that holds the instrument in his hand.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode. But this is really not just another episode. This is a wonderful opportunity for me to have some beautiful and tremendous family on this podcast this evening. Today is Sunday. It's really a Father's Day event, but we have, for the most part, all women on here, but they're just not any women. This is about Dr. Moses Powell, Musa Muhammad, and you know him to be my teacher. He is so many of our teachers that you have seen in the past and you will see more of. He has touched so many lives, not just as a martial artist, but he has done it and has become as a father to many in this art. But we're talking about a real father to his true and beautiful daughters. We have 3 of his daughters here with us, and I'm excited to have them on this show. Listen, hit subscribe as well as share with someone else to let them know. Dr. Moses Powell, the Supreme Grand Master, this is a man who we know we don't need to even give you a description of him because most of you already know him, and we want to just continue to let you know about him. And this is our opportunity to say Happy Father's Day to Doc. So anyway, let's get to our guests on, and I'm going to get this beautiful Sister Cheryl Powell, to give you the opportunity to share everyone, just to introduce everyone that's on, and we're going to get started in just a moment after the introduction start. So Cheryl, how are you doing, first of all?
I am doing great. Thank you so much.
Excellent. So could you please share right now all of our family that's on?
So who we have on the line is my oldest sister, Athena Powell. Can you raise it? Yes. And then my youngest sister, Sadiqa Powell.
Awesome.
We have another sister, Kyrima, but she couldn't make it today.
All right. Well, I'm sure you all are going to make sure that she's present even though she's not here with us. So
Absolutely.
awesome. So let me just start off by asking the question. You know, when we talk about Doc, I want to hear from you about Dad. I want to hear from all of you about your father, about the interactions that you have had. Tell me, what kind of dad was he?
This should be interesting. This should be interesting.
He was just a dad. He was the, you know, calling from the bathroom, bring me the toilet paper kind of dad. He was the calling you out from the room and bring me the remote that's sitting right next to him, dad. He was the who left the dishes in the sink, dad. Right? Who's going to the store and why you didn't get the butter like I asked you, dad? All of the same things that everybody else's dad were, he was.
Yes.
Except his job was a little bit different. And so growing up, we really didn't know that he was much different, I really didn't figure it out too much later in life that there was something special and unique to our family dynamics versus other family dynamics.
Yes. Beautiful.
He was he slept on the floor. A lot of people don't know that, but he slept on the floor in my years when I was growing up with him. He was like a guard dog. Like he slept in the living room on the floor, literally. And if you turn the TV off, he would wake up and say, "Why did you turn the TV off? I was watching that." And I was like, "No, you weren't." Yeah. He's like, "Yes, I was." You'd have to like wake him up with a broom so he didn't like kill you.
Yeah. No, that was in our years too, trust me. And we would take turns poking him to get up because he would jump up into something and
be ready.
Be ready.
He was always ready. He was always ready. I remember he had this nasty cup that he would drink out of, and he would just pour the same or different. He would put milk in it. He would put juice in it. He would put in the freezer, and we would just be like, "That's Dad's cup," you know? I don't know. He was an interesting man. He was a very interesting man. He, in his later years, he would call me very early in the morning, and I miss those calls so much now. But like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, he was always just up thinking, pondering, always up thinking and thinking and thinking away. I don't know what his thoughts were. I wish I had taken more time to get to know what it was that he was always kind of just going over in his head, you know?
Yeah, I think those thoughts were so deep that it was impenetrable, if that's a word. Like he couldn't even express them verbally. So you can tell there was something going on, but can we even understand? I don't think so, because he was a different kind of a person. He was, he had a lot of wisdom. He was very spiritual in the sense that he felt things, his energy was different. He felt things differently. And I think he processed differently. And so I don't think he can express through words really what he was internalizing.
Feeling. Yeah.
So he pushed it out through his purpose, right? Which is the martial arts. And that was definitely his purpose.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he actually soared above his purpose. I mean, he excelled in what he was doing because he was what he was doing, if that makes any sense. Some people like, I'm a nurse, but you know, it's a job. I like nursing, but it's not my purpose. Like I wasn't born to start an IV. You understand? Yes. He was born to do this, and he found out early that he was born to do this, and then he did it, and then he did it. You know, he did it the best. He did it better than anybody because he knew. I don't know. He knew it was his. He knew, so he owned it. It was authentic. Yes. When you live in authenticity, then your purpose it just balloons. You know, like if you have counterfeit money, you live in fear that you'll be found out, right? Yes. It's counterfeit. Yes. They're gonna find out. I'm gonna go to jail. But when you live authentic like that, you have no fear. You just keep it going. You know, your creativity is boundless. So I think that's why he called, because he was trying to express something, but he just couldn't.
Yeah.
You know.
Awesome.
But he was
how about you?
Huh?
How about you?
I think that he was definitely interesting. He could steal my food off my plate all the time, so I'm to turn around and take my food. So I remained thin for a very long time. If I didn't eat, he would steal my food.
We all ate her food because she ate so slow.
Yeah.
We used to kill her.
And I still eat slow. So, but no, I think that he was. I don't think that he was aware of his purpose in a way that we think. I think that once it was presented, he had the bare fact. He had the bare minimum. He knew how to fight. He knew how to deal with people who were kind of like on a lower level, like gang members and pimps and all that other stuff. He knew how to deal with people, and he knew how they thought. I think that once he met with the Professor B,
Yes.
they went through some type of initiation where he was given an extra tool to work with, and that tool became a part of who he is, and that's what drove him, and that's what kept him up at night. And that's it's like a separate, not a separate soul, but a separate energy that was not imposed because he was welcoming to it, but I think that that's how he became so magnificent in what he was doing.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. And so you've all had the opportunity to be there in the intimate times, of course, as his children. When you got an opportunity, or let me ask you, when did you get an opportunity to be around him in his martial arts life, if you will? When did you actually, see that part of him in a stronger or bigger way?
I mean, we lived it daily. He woke up a martial artist. He went to sleep a martial artist. He never stopped. You know what I mean? It's not like he clocked out, right? Because he didn't clock in. It was just who he was. So every moment was a teachable moment. Every single moment. But, so I can't say when we figured it out. But when we figured out he was special, maybe, or he was a little bit different, maybe that, I think for me, it didn't really resonate until he passed away. When I saw, even we all spoke about it, all those men that came out and cried like babies for this man, like we were like, what? We couldn't understand at first, like, wow, he was that loved and that he touched that many people, and he's a big, strong people. We were like, look at all of these guys and they're like broken. They were so broken. And so, that had to stand for something. And that's when I really, really started paying attention to the martial arts side of him versus the father side of him. That was for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Yes.
I think for me, it was probably in my 20s. We took a trip to Bermuda, and I think seeing it through the eyes of the Bermudians and the people there, I realized that he was really different. It was like, worship is not the right word, but it would have to be something along those lines. It was a true respect, like the highest, utmost respect that you could have for another human being, I guess. Yes. They had for him. And they loved me because they loved him. And they loved my children who were there. Well, my daughter was there. I was pregnant with my son, but they loved them because they loved him. And so it was like that love just trickled down because of him. Yes. It all originated with him, and realizing that it changed a lot for me. It mended a lot of broken promises and, sad moments and not so happy times, because I realized that he was just doing the best that he could do with what he was given, and he didn't know how to do it any other way than the way he did it. And as a grown woman now, 44 going on 45, doing my own thing, living my purpose, I have so much respect for him, because I don't know if he lost so much, but he just had to do it. There's just no, and whatever suffered, whatever fell by the wayside, whatever wasn't in line with it, you know, his kids or whatever that may have been, he had to do what he did the way he did. There was just no other way that he knew. And I respect that now as a grown woman, and an artist. You know, the love that he had for the art was so deep, it just consumed him.
Yes.
And even the love he had for people, I think it was deeper than most. I think that he always wanted a boy, right? And so all of y'all were his sons and our prodigal brothers, right? And so he saw in you himself, right? Because he sort of had to raise himself, and I think that the camaraderie between him and all his students and the Grand Masters, of course, was that the God in him would talk to the God in you, right? And that would make the connection. So everybody thought they had a special connection to him because of that, but he knew how to tap into that.
That's right.
And whatever way he did it, he could, I don't know, his vision was different than most people. I don't think he saw with his eyes. I think he just kind of,
yes,
you know.
Beautiful. Yeah. You know, the minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he called Doc a god of the martial arts. Mm-hmm. I had never heard anyone else being given or identified in such a way. And I thought that was so excellent because, you know, as you all are mentioning, you know, you can't get much higher in how you look at him and how you appreciate him, and the term worship. And I know that's it's a interesting and not necessarily the best term, but you hardly can get a word, you know what I mean, that is better almost, you know. But definitely how you look at someone with reverence in such a way that connection that you mentioned, Cheryl, is something that I've seen him have with so many people, and there's people that we haven't even touched that have had that, and he didn't have to have a long time with you. No.
It was quick with him.
Mm-hmm. he tapped into you right away, whether he felt, you know, Doc was something where he could capture who you were and the kind of spirit that you have, and he would test you in various ways. So he's an incredible man, incredible, and I'm just so grateful to have been and is a student of his. So in terms of yourselves, sisters, right now, tell me some of what you're doing and like what has his influence in your life produced that you can see it came from him in what you know, in terms of his thinking and his movement. What in your own life at this time would you say that you can contribute to my father?
I think all of us as sisters, we're very similar, although we're apart. And we all have this like almost indigenous connection to what is not seen. Mm-hmm. If I could say that. I'm sure amongst your friends, you're different than them, because of him and my mother as well. And I'm sure your mom too. We don't have the same superficial connection to things. We have a deeper connection to what is going on around us or in us, you know, whether it be through dreams, whether it be through just a conversation, whether it be through, no, he didn't mean that, he meant this. We all have that. Even Karima, she has that as well. So I think that comes from him, his mother. I know they were Native American, and so that thing is there. Whatever it is, I don't know what to call it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything from you all in terms of that? What you've gotten, what you see in yourself from your dad?
For me, I guess, strength for sure, strength and ability to see. I mean, I work in the field of healing and spiritual work. So I guess in that way, I know how he was able to tap into something else and to make it his and to make it work for him. So basically, that is my life's work, not what he was doing, of course, but dealing with people on that level, meeting people as they are and seeing what's there and helping them through, from point A, B, C, or D, just helping them through to reach their goals.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I would say for me, I'm very much a giver. I'm a big giver. I have a huge heart, and I know I get that from my dad. Also, this is definitely not the house you want to break into. I have many guns, many knives, many this, many that, and it's all over the house. Because that's how I grew up. Like he always said, like, you never know where it's going to go down. Like, you got to be ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready,
That's right.
So I'm a gun collector, a knife collector, a sword collector, a giver, a lover of people, just truly love people and love to connect with people. And I always say I would have been a nurse in my other life. It's too late for me now for that, and I'm a writer.
It's not.
Yes, it is. I don't, all that science and math, I'm not doing that. But I'm a writer, and I read an article once, I don't know what magazine it was in, but he mentioned that he wished that he could have written a book or his story, and so I think that there were parts of him that were creative beyond just the mat even, that he never got to tap into. But I think that goes back to the thoughts and the thinking and the constant pondering and just ruminating, over things. And I have that. My mother is always like, look at you, you're just sitting there looking off thinking, or you're quiet, or yeah, and that's how he was. He just was a big thinker, and I never sit with my back to the door anywhere. I am very aware of everything that's going on around me. I'm just not your typical chick,
Yeah, exactly. Always read the room, never sit with your back to the door. Don't go the same way twice. Those kind of life lessons. Yeah. And I use them all the time. I mean, and it's effective. I don't know. I think that he gave us the no nonsense attitude. Like, you got one time to say something crazy, what I mean? Like, right. Whether you know martial arts or not, right? Nobody can bother you. Like, nobody has ever really came in my space, not like that, and I don't know why. It's just the attitude that you have, the positive, even at work. Sometimes you deal with management and they're like, how did you say that to her? And I'm like, if I could speak to God, I could speak to that woman behind that desk. Come on, Chef. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they don't understand. They're like, oh my God, you can't talk. I'm like, I could talk to anybody. So I think that is partly from him. Because he speaks whatever, slick or not, he don't care who it is.
The only thing that could have made him a better communicator is if he could have spoken multiple languages. Outside of that, he was a communicator like no other. Right. He loved to talk to people and to just feel people,
Well, the language that he spoke wasn't necessarily English. You know what I mean? He spoke a language, like you've already mentioned earlier, that he could read you. He could talk to anybody, and I've seen him, interact with persons. You have all types when they come to these seminars. There's people that actually speak other languages, but guess what? They got what he was giving,
Right.
and they wanted it, So it's beautiful, ma'am.
No. I agree with you. I agree
Yes.
with you. He could read a room. He knew how. It's like I said. It was who it was in front of him. He spoke to the God in them immediately, and it was an instant. That's why everybody is so. They always think that they're the one. They're his best friend because he knows how to get to the core of them.
Yes.
So they don't. You know what I mean? So if you notice, everybody thinks they're the prodigal son. I'm talking about y'all now. Everybody.
That's
thinks
right.
they're the prodigal
That's right.
son. Yeah, they do, and so and
it's just
loyal.
the way he made people feel.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they're loyal to him. They have this loyalty that I've never seen before, but I know people are not loyal to people that are ineffective. He's effective. So people are loyal to that,
Yes.
His, like I said, his martial arts, and he is authentic and he's real. And so people gravitate to that.
Yes.
And he never did it for the money.
Right.
The money, we didn't grow up rich. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, my mansion they doing over my mansion right now. So I'm living in this little house in Brooklyn. We struggled, coming up. So it was never for the money. It was always for the love.
Yes. Well,
because people even ask that. They'll ask you how was it growing up? Like y'all must have had everything. And I'm like, we had syrup sandwiches like everybody else. I mean, there was no, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We had sugar water like everybody else living in the project with us. It wasn't any special. Ooh, so yeah. It wasn't for money.
It was not for money.
What I'd like to do is, as I know you all love Mom, but I can't talk about Dad without, just you saying something about your mom, you know what I mean? And because that also was a part of him. I mean, he was drawn to certain types, you know what I mean? And he, so I just want to, I couldn't not speak about my dad and not have something to say about my mom, because Mom she was just something else. So I just want to give you an opportunity to say a little bit about Mom and Dad, your mothers and your father.
Well, I'll say, go ahead, sis.
In my situation, it was Bed-Stuy meets Harlem. And so the two of them.
You gotta be in New York, y'all. You gotta be in New York to understand that.
Yeah, you gotta be in New York to know that. It was Bed-Stuy meets Harlem. And my mother was a force to be reckoned with, but she rolled with him. You know what I mean? She let him do, she trusted that he was going to do what he said he was going to do.
Yes.
And she gave him the space to do it. Because they were young. They were 18, 19 years old. He wanted to do this thing called martial arts, and she said, go ahead, I got you. Who does that? But they definitely had their battles. She would really, when she saw that he was kind of falling, not falling, but sometimes, your workout is not as intense, or he's falling behind a little bit, maybe double thinking things, she would aggravate him intentionally. So he would go to class and beast them. Right. And so I know Harold Oglesby and them, they used to be like, yo, Sister Betty, can you just like tone that head down a little bit? Because she was trying to work him up so that he would go in and create more. And it worked, but awesome. They were definitely a force to be reckoned with. He was a martial artist. She was the African dancer. They were in the World's Fair together. So, and they were a nice, wonderful young couple, you know, always had people over talking about the struggle. You know, it was in the 60s and 70s, so it was a lot going on. It was always a bunch of people in the house, right? You know, talking about whatever's going on, you know, Black Power at the time, the civil rights movement. So yeah, we grew up in that kind of an environment, very Afrocentric, very, you know, everything in the house was Afrocentric, and as well as our parents. You know, we had natural hair and all that type of stuff. My mother had afro, we had our hair, we had some tight afros. I mean, tight, you know, we had tight afros. Well, my afro was tight. I mean, I don't mean tight good. It was what? But anyway, yeah, we grew up in an environment like that. And so my mother really, I think, pushed him into the success that he became.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Sadiq,
and I would say my mother, I'll say what he would have said. He would have said, Jan in that mouth. Because my mother was probably one of the few people that could disarm him with her tongue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, those two, my mother tried to bring structure to Sanukis in the business sense of things. Mm-hmm. And Dad just wanted to work out.
Right. He wasn't a businessman.
He was not that. He just wanted to be on the mat, you know, and she wanted him to collect dues and charge people this and get your money, and they didn't pay you, and where's the money, and where's the money, where's the damn money? And he was just like, I just want to be on the mat, and I just want to do what I love, and can you just let me do it my way, you know? And that's one of the reasons they eventually, you know, went their separate ways. But my mother, I think, like all of us, knew that you had to let him be who he was. Yeah. And there's some beauty in that, you know, no matter the fact that it didn't work out between them. She has the utmost respect for my father.
You know, yeah. And really, when we talk about these kinds of things, you know, it's, you know, being apart don't mean that you are truly separated. You know, anyone, like all of us, I mean, we've been touched by him, and some of us were apart, but, you know, like, especially now, you find everybody claiming. You know what I mean? Because there's never really, when he touched you, you were touched. I know I was, you know, I mean, coming up as a child under him, you know, coming up, you know, so I was a child in the dojo, while of course you were at home as children. And so I, you know, well, from what you said, Cheryl, now I know why I was getting beat up. I just thought it was supposed to be that way, but I really appreciate it, and thank you for even sharing. Now, with as far as your dad is concerned, and now he has transitioned.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said now that he has transitioned. You know, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Cheryl?
Can you hear me? Oh, now I can. I didn't hear you. Yeah, I wasn't hearing. I hear you now.
Okay. So I was saying that, you know, Doc, I said now that he has transitioned and he's not present, I wanted to get your thoughts or have you speak on the family. When I say the family, meaning how you see, you know, that kind of love, or the desire to want to love him on various levels by the masters and by other martial artists, and they're still talking about Doc right now. I mean, they're still looking for him right now online. Right now, somebody is looking for Doc to get some lessons right now. So his power has gone and stretched way beyond the period of his transition. So I just wanted to get some of the masters that you've had or martial artists that you've had the pleasure of being around, speak about that feeling that you get from them or anything in that area. Do you get the question? You understand the question?
Yeah, I do. I think after his transition, like I said, that's when I realized there was something different about this entire thing, and that he was loved by so many people. Yes. He was not just dad anymore. He was this icon, right? And so I really wanted to touch base with what that meant. And I really, I really felt strong about the legacy that he left us. Yes. And that what we could do as a family to uphold that legacy. And so I went around, and I showed up at stuff all the time because I was looking for him in y'all. Yes. Like I wanted to know who was who and what was what, and who can I tap into and what can, I was searching and looking in between raising a family. My mother was ill, and, just being every day, working or whatever, I was trying really my hardest. And so, there's a lot of people that touched my heart, like I think I like being around you all together when y'all are together, not like individual people, of course you and your brother, those y'all are my brothers, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but when y'all are all together, you, Little John and Bill and Tom and what's the brother's name? Tayari Cassell and Sugar. When y'all are all together, y'all don't have no sense, brother. Y'all don't have nothing. Y'all there's and so I needed to see that sometime because everybody's walking around, at their best, right? But when y'all are together, y'all are out of control. And sometimes you need to see that. And so once I finally saw that, I'm like, oh, okay. They regular, not just these, so I'm still searching for what to do. I really think that this thing called Sanukis and Moses Powell is our Heinz ketchup, my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, It sounds weird, but it's our Heinz ketchup. I tell my kids all the time, they're like, shut up. But for me, that's what it is. And I just don't know how to, package that. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to do with that because y'all ain't easy either. As a group. Not easy to fit in as the sister, So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. I love it. So in terms of and Tina, let me hear a little bit from you too now.
I speak when I have something to say for sure.
Yes,
but I'm in agreement with her in regards to that.
Good.
So I don't really have much to add to that. So, because I have been out of the loop for a little while. So, I still know who I did know, in the past, but I'm not in the loop like that.
Yeah, no, it's all right. That's quite all right. Not a problem. I wanted to also extend the greetings to you from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I want you to know that most times when I talk with him, he'll ask about you. He'll ask about you all, how are they, and I'll tell him what I know. And I haven't been in touch with someone or not, whatever the case is, but I just want you to know that he has extended his love and greetings to the family. So I just wanted to say that to you, that he wanted me to give you the greetings of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Please give him the greetings for us as well.
For sure.
Yes.
Tell him we said what up.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him just that.
Like that.
What up?
What
yes,
up?
Indeed.
Lord.
Yes. So tell me what would you like I know you mentioned that you don't know what you want in terms of how to do this thing, but what would you like to see as far as your father is concerned in terms of his legacy? Just kind of speak to the legacy you'd like to see. Not so much where we can go, because I don't know fully that myself, but I do know that I want to get as many people as I possibly can to know him. And that's what this is all about. This show that we do, I'm not the one that really want to be on, on the screen like this doing interviews. They keep forcing me out here, but I do want to make sure that he is remembered as well. And that's what I want to give to this. And I definitely want to help you all as well. So I wanted to just open it up and ask you if there's anything that in terms of his legacy that you'd like to see more of.
Gosh, I would love to see. I mean, it'll be my life's work, my passion project at some point in time when I can actually sit back and have the time to reflect and figure out how to pay homage to him. I'm not really sure how to do it. Like Cheryl said, it's, when he first passed, I immediately started working on his book, like jumped like all the way in, like I'm gonna write his story. And then I had to stop because I hadn't dealt with his transition.
Right.
And so all these years, now it's been 16 years.
Wow.
2005.
Yes.
Right.
It's hard for me to remember sometimes the year, but I don't know. I'm not really sure how to, I don't know how to answer that. I know I have to do something. And maybe with my sisters together, we can figure out what that would be, but I don't know what it is. I write movies, that's what I do. So that's awesome. What I have in my head that I'll do one day. And like I spoke to Michael Jai White, and he was in one of my films, and I asked him if he would play Dad if I were to write the movie. He said he would be honored to do that because he was one of Dad's students as well. So maybe a movie one day. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to
I
it.
think that the here and now is the here and now, and that we always put things off, and then it goes, right? And yes. So I think that to preserve him, like I wanted to put him in the Smithsonian in Washington.
Yes.
I actually tried, right? And I even tried the Schomburg, but they want physical things. I don't have physical things, that is part of my that touches my heart, that you all had him. So y'all have the things that are required to preserve him. We have the emotions and the DNA, right? I have his nose and his feet. I can't put that in the Smithsonian.
Yeah,
but you all have the things that are required. And for me to try to get that from the masses, it is just a ginormous job for me to undertake, right? Because it's a lot. But that's what I want to do. I want to preserve him so that other people, young and old, could see him in a place like that. The Smithsonian is wonderful. They have video, but you need physical items. They were both willing to accept him. And when it came to that, I was like, okay, right, I'll be back, but I don't have nothing to give them. Right.
Okay.
And so the other thing is, I think that you ever read the book called The Alchemist? You ever heard of that book?
Yes.
This child went out and he searched the world and he came only to come right back to square one. I think that we're all venturing out, and what we really are seeking is right here,
Yes.
You could write your best book on him. That would be your first bestseller. It would be your first best movie, right? If we did that, that would be your first best analogy of the human brain, because you do a lot with you know, the things that you do in your life experience. And I think me as a healer, as a nurse, he would be my best, you know, project or patient or whatever, if we just knew that. But we're all out trying to do our thing, and it's all right here. So
Yes.
we came together and did something, that one thing, then
Yes.
that can catapult all of us into the things that we really want to do. If we all concentrated on that, but we're seeking it out there, but it's right here.
Yes.
He left this legacy. People don't have a legacy like this.
Right.
People don't have anything when their parents died. They have a little bit of money here and there, but we have a legacy. I mean, it's different.
Yes.
So if we could tap into that, I think that we would all have something for our children, for their children, you know, and he would live forever. If we put him in some place like a Smithsonian or in the Schomburg, he would live there forever and archive forever. I think he would want something like that.
I love it. I love that. And I will turn my attention to help you make that a reality. As Allah is my witness, I'm going to do that. But I'll still need you, you know, shouting out or something, you know, you know, giving me a call. But I will do that. I think that is absolutely fantastic, and is something that, you know, again, others will see him and get to know him in some way, and you know,
even
so
after all of us are gone, they'll be reading about you, his great student, and all of y'all. Everybody, I mean, when you send stuff to them, they really want stuff of him.
Yes.
But there's no stuff of him without y'all. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So everybody will be represented. The family, his family outside of our homes, you know what I mean? So
yes,
it's full circle to me, but I just don't know how to breathe. I don't know how to move with that.
We will have more conversation about that so that we can do it. All right. Good.
All right.
Well, let me hear something about you all. I mean, you know, you're the product of the man. So tell me about your life right now. Where are you? What you're doing? Your children.
Tina, you go.
Put me out there like that. I was not. Okay, fine. What's the question again?
He said, tell him something about you.
Yes.
About
yeah, you and your life right now, you know, just share something.
all right. So I am a teacher, basically a teacher who teaches people how to get in touch with their spiritual tools. That's what I do. And I also do work, healing work, and I do medium work. And after Dad passed, I was doing medium work. I was constantly talking to him, and I constantly had conversation with him for years until he came back in. So he's not over there anymore. He's over here. He's been about 7 years now, back on this side, our side. So my children are artists to the max, motivated, business-wise as well. That's that. And I have 5 dogs, and I'm very busy.
Beautiful. I know what that is now. I know what having adults is.
Not a dog, but you know, I really do have 5 dogs, and they're awesome.
Yes.
And gals. That's it.
Awesome.
Well, Dad loved animals.
Uh-huh.
So you probably got that from him.
Yeah, we had chickens, we had roosters, we had turkeys.
Did have a chicken in the project.
Remember that
chicken?
Yeah.
His name was Bridget.
The hamsters used to eat up his geese. They don't get out, eat up his geese. He's so mad, he'd have holes everywhere. We had gerbils as well.
Oh, we had a hamster. He ate holes in his, you remember the geese were the cotton was nice and strong?
Yep.
That cotton back in the day was, so this particular hamster, Fat, he used to chew up holes in his geese. So he'd be taking the geese out of the closet, all shaking them out to fold them for class. And we'd be in the back and we'd see these big holes in the gi. We're like, oh no, he's gonna go to school and have a big, so so he hated the hamster, but it's hard to catch a hamster when he got out of the cage. So we named the hamster after him so that maybe there'd be a kinship, right? But the hamster met an untimely demise. I'll plead this on what happened. But so yeah, the geese thing stopped after that.
We used to take the fish out of the fish tank and put them on the floor to see if they could walk.
Who did that?
You.
I did. No, that would mean I was 2 cups of crazy. I didn't do that.
I have 2 children and they are amazing athletes. No surprise.
Right?
My son is playing basketball for a school in Virginia. He leaves in August. And my daughter is currently running her own brand strategy marketing company. She graduated from college about 4 weeks ago.
Awesome.
Oh, she gotta talk some money.
Okay, for sure. And I'm busy writing. I'm writing people's stories and my stories and just writing. That's my passion. That's my love. That's what I'm here to do.
Awesome. Awesome.
So I'm a registered nurse, case manager, and I'm active in my union. I'm on a couple of social justice committees. I just did I was a presenter at a case management conference, and they recently asked us to come back to do the presentation again. So that was exciting. My daughter, I have 3 children. My oldest daughter, she's in marketing as well. She has 2 businesses that she runs. I don't know how she does it. She travels a lot. She likes to see the world. I think she will eventually leave the United States and live somewhere Spanish speaking. My son is a former football player, and now he's in school for producing. He's great at producing music. And he produces music for my youngest daughter who sings. She's trying to tap into singing a little bit. She was going to school for sports management, but she's since dropped that and she's doing something in the music industry. So
that's beautiful.
So altogether, my father has 4 grandsons, 6 granddaughters, and 3 great-granddaughters. Wow.
That's awesome.
And 4 daughters. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a blessing. And that's his legacy. You all are his legacy. And, I pray that I can live long enough to see if somebody pops up out of that legacy to take on that particular role or activity, if you will, in that way, in terms of training. But it doesn't have to be just that, because it's a physical thing. But the ability in whatever they venture into to see or produce the same kind of results is going to be amazing. And I know that it's going to happen, by Allah's grace and permission. So I appreciate you all. I'm not going to, you've given me a lot of time. I thank you for it. I pray that I did not say anything that you did not appreciate. I would love to, at some point, speak with you all again. And I'm just happy. Thank you for being on. Is there anything that you'd like to say in closing to this audience that we have here, and to the family, the extended family of Doc, from you all?
I would just like to say,
you see Cheryl, right? You see how she does. You're like, I'm not going to be the first one. Let me see. Come on. Go ahead, Sadiqa.
I would just like to say that our father was an amazing soul. He was not a perfect man, but I think that he was a very noble man. And he's missed in a way that, you know, I can't really put into words or emotion. It surpasses all of that. So there's no more tears and all of those things on Father's Day. There's just a void that is so large that it's just unmanageable. He was just amazing, and I love him. I miss him so much, and I just hope that you all will continue to keep the art pure, Sanukis pure. Thank you.
Thank you. And you know, there's something that I'm sure you've heard, and you know, there's no one that is perfect, of course. And it says, "He who is without sin cast the first stone," and no stones were cast. So that's not, you know, his beauty and his greatness far surpasses any negative situation that anyone could come up with. And in truth, they can't come up with them around the right people.
No,
So,
not at all.
they better not. But anyway, I thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I see you, Cheryl.
I think through his example, I think people should live in their truth, because it will take you far. You'll soar above your purpose when you live in your truth. I think we waste a lot of time living day to day, working day to day, someone else's job, someone else's life, someone else's. But through his example, especially you guys, I mean, I think all of you that meant something really special to him are actually living your truth. And that's wonderful. And I hope that your students, from him to you, from you to them, yes, that they continue to live their truth like he did.
Beautiful.
You know, I think it would be beneficial to us as a people. And it would really be a great look for his legacy.
Come on. Thank you. That's awesome. Anything, Tina, to close out?
No, I'm, happy to have met him in his lifetime.
Yes, indeed. I love it.
Together, but we'll see. I know that he's not in the arts this particular time, not the martial arts this particular time. And so he's making other strides emotionally that he didn't get to make this time. So that's a good thing. Good thing for him. He had work complete. That's all I got to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. I love you all. And
we love you too.
And it is so good to see you all together. It is beautiful. And
long time.
Yes, long time, and I again, we are going to have to do this again, and it may not be in front of a camera. It just may be us talking to each other, because I'd like to be able to do some of the things that you'd like to see or be a part of doing some of those things. And we'll just deal with that when that time comes. Love you all. Thank you.
Love you much.
Thank
Love you, sis.
All right.
All right. Yes. Okay, everybody, listen. Thank you for being present here at this episode.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's.
Thank you very much. My birthday on Saturday. You can sing happy birthday now. It's okay. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
We'll call you
Saturday.
All right. Love you all. Everyone, I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.
All right.
All right then.
Peace.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam.
And particularly, I want to wish everybody a very happy Father's Day to all the fathers. And particularly, I am here to honor picture as I am always under him. Dr. Moses Powell, he was the beginning of the experience for blacks in martial arts. He came into martial arts at a time when it was necessary to create a new narrative for the presence of black men in martial arts. So on this day, I am here to acknowledge the greatness of this gentleman who came into being to affect so many other beings. If it wasn't for him, most of the people who are in the black experience of martial arts would not have the artistic expression of their art as it is with rhythm, flow, timing, grace, strength, and beauty. I honor this man. Until I am no longer here, I honor this man. I always stand under him. Us. Have a happy Father's Day to all.
Well, greetings from Grandmaster George Logan. I would like to send a very special, heavenly, happy Father's Day to a brother, to a friend, to my teacher, the late, great Dr. Moses Powell. He has truly been an inspiration in my life and my hero. And Doc, if I could speak to you right now, I would say that Sinukers is in good hands. It's all in well. We have some great teachers, masters, professors, grandmasters, and soakers. And so I say unto you, Doc, rest in peace, eye to eye, heart to heart. Us.
Peace be unto you. This is Anton Salahuddin Muhammad saying that I am so thankful on Father's Day for Dr. Moses Powell or Dr. Musa Muhammad. I am so thankful from what he taught me and my family of survival. Peace be unto you. One.
Those of us who have had the honor to train under the father of American Jiu-Jitsu, Dr. Moses Powell, it's kind of like a similar experience. In it that, although Doc has transitioned from this plane to another, we have a lot of memories training with this man. If you trained under Doc and you heard him speak and heard the things he used to say, he talked a lot about life. He talked about religion. He was comical. He used to make rhymes during his talks, and it was a fun experience, even if he had you working out to the point that you were going to pass out, or where he trained you so much. I remember one time in Brooklyn, I had to pour a pot of water on my head, drenched. But that was the good times, when he moved up to Vermont and we would go up to see him for his seminars, he'd kill us up there too. And we worked on a gray mat, which was a wooden floor, but it was a lot of fun. And the time spent with Doc could never be taken away and never be changed. And our children, who are our students, now get to also experience the same things that we did through the stories we get to tell them, because we were there with him. So on this Father's Day, I wish you the very, very best. I hope that you and your family prosper and are healthy and you're enjoying life as much as possible. And if you are a direct descendant of Dr. Powell, enjoy the day and think about the father of our system. Think about all the good things that he brought to the table and how he affected each and every one of us. I wish you all the very best. Grandmaster Abdul Azziz, thank you for allowing me to speak. Us.
Happy Father's Day, Doc. I'm calling you on this day to let you know how much I appreciate you And I thank you for raising me from a butter bean of knowledge to, well, a higher knowledge. And I could never repay you for that. But know this, every single day as I'm walking down the street, as I'm driving in my car, as I may be at work, as I may be wherever I am looking for the exits, talking to the people, sizing up all situations, you're there every single time. Love you. Us.
I'm Professor Ivan Moss from the Sanukus VSK system. I'm sending Happy Father's Day to our father, Doctor Moses Powell, which is known as Musa. Happy Father's Day. We love you. We adore you. You are our legend, our teacher. And we appreciate you in teaching us and spreading your family all around the world. You have many sons and daughters. You have touched not only your students, but you have touched the world and showed them you are a true legend. And I want to say we appreciate you highly. You reach out and you touch the CIA, the FBI, Congress. The world knows you, and we are proud of you. You're the only father some of us know, and you're still touching us from far and near. You created a family of love. There's only one Dr. Moses Powell, and that is you. And I want to say, from one of your offspring, Professor Ivan Moss, we love you.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Just like to say Happy Father's Day to everybody out there, and thank Allah for having been one to be blessed by having a father in the martial arts such as Dr. Moses Powell.
Us, eye to eye, heart to heart. Us, Soke Hassan Khalik here to wish a happy Father's Day to my beloved father, friend, and mentor of the martial arts, Supreme Grand Master Dr. Moses Powell. I don't tend to think we need a special holiday to recognize his legacy, because if you've ever been in his presence, you know that it still lives on. I want to thank him for always allowing me to be able to express myself through his art, and also be able to teach me the true meaning of family. I think that each and every time that we think about our beloved teacher, we have our own special memories of him. But mine is always the conversations that I would have with him that always reminded me that I'm a leader, and it's my job to continue to move a legacy forward. So I hope that you share in that thought with me and continue to acknowledge Supreme Grand Master Dr. Moses Powell as he lives on with us all. Thank you. Eye to eye, heart to heart. Us.
My name is Shodan Stephen White, and I'm extremely excited to have the opportunity to wish Supreme Grand Master Dr. Moses Powell a happy Father's Day. Doc, we love you for all the lessons that you've left for us that definitely have made us all better martial artists and human beings. Us.
Happy Father's Day, Doc! From Brother Tory.
From Brother Yahya Jabril Muhammad.
From Sister Aziza, us.
Brother Darren X, hi.
Brother Marshall, us.
Every student of a master here today, you reflect your master teacher. You want to walk like him. You want to talk like her. But you start by having an object in front of you that you admire.